As the caterpillar in Alice in Wonderland says, who are you? Who are you really? Are you going through an identity crisis? Are you trying to figure out what the self is? Perhaps it's an illusion. Let's talk about it.
And also you will see that life takes care of life, not you.
It feels good to connect with you all once again, to be back in the presence. Although it is through technology, we are connected in other spaces, and it's an honor to be connected with you at this moment in time. And I'm here to discuss the self-identity, identity crises. Who are you really? What is it that you're doing? Who are you? What is your identifier? How do you categorize? How do you label yourself? These are questions that people deal with their entire lives, especially as a child and teenager growing up in this world, trying to figure out where you fit, right? Me, myself, I often saw myself as, well, DeAndre, which is my birth name, Black, African-American, man in America. I like, music, those, there are so many ways to categorize and label yourself. And I had the question at some point, what's real, what's not? What really matters? How important are these labels? How important are these identifiers that we place upon ourselves or that have been placed upon us by society and by family? And it came to the point to where I realized, it's all an illusion. Does it really matter? Nah, it don't really matter. DeAndre is a name. Although there is power behind that name and a vibration, it is not who I am. It is a way that I can see myself and move in this reality, but it is not me. Who is a self that calls itself DeAndre? Who is a self that moves behind that name? What happens when your name is taken from you? Who are you then? What happens when your race is no longer a primary factor in your reality, or your gender, or your sexual preference and orientation? What happens then? Who are you? Because you've always been there and it's never gone away. It's never changed. Just because you change how you identify yourself doesn't mean that you change this true self, the inner essence of who you really are. This is why I find it so important not to get caught up in it all. You can spend your whole life fighting with this process, trying to say, okay, I think I'm in this category. I think I'm in this. Or just trying to really dig deeper and deeper and deeper, trying to really pinhole yourself, individualize yourself into something that's very distinct so that you feel unique, so that you feel like you are finally whole, when really all you've done was separate the wholeness that you were to begin with. This is crucial. This is important. So really that's going backwards. We came into this earth whole unto ourselves. No label. No need to identify with a group or with a certain type of way of culture or being. We came in here, present, aware, in our full infinite consciousness, in our full expression of self. And you see kids do it really well. They just do whatever they want. Just like, ah! And then this when they're crying, this moment they're laughing, and they want to play, and then they're just doing all these things because they aren't limited or confined by, oh, Aaron only does this. Oh, Mariah only can do this. This is what Mariah does. No, I do what I do. They simply are being. And that's what we all are. We're beings. Not as powerful. So if you're going through an identity crisis right now, don't worry about it, because honestly, probably isn't all too important in the big picture, in the spiritual context of things. Now, granted, having an identity helps in this reality, navigating it a little bit easier in terms of, you can say, oh, this is what I present. This is what I typically would do. Therefore, if I follow those typical behaviors, people will know what to expect from me. And I can then build a life around that foundation. That's where the ego does benefit you at times. It allows you to build a foundation, a security net of sorts, so that people know what to expect from you. However, that is also a limitation that also separates you from the all, from the true self. When you release your identity, when you release your ego, you can become anything and anyone. There is no limitation. If you say firmly, I am, let's say my name is Jessica, I am an Asian woman from the country of Japan. I am a millennial. I am of the, let's say, Christian religion, why not? So those labels, those are who you are, right? And of course, the list goes on and on from there. From that point, you can no longer be DeAndre, African-American male, from America, no religious affiliation, et cetera, because you've limited yourself to Jessica, et cetera. Now, if you say I am, and you are present, when you meet somebody, you're able to become them. You see yourself in them because technically you are them. There's no limitations. There are no bounds in this reality. We're all one being, connecting and experiencing ourselves. So if I am you, you are me in that moment, we're able to exchange our knowings. We're able to exchange our essence. We're able to exchange our full and true expression in that moment in time, and then embody that and act it out. Have you ever been around a friend or somebody around you that you're really, focusing on or really in the presence of? And then when you leave that person's space, you're able to act out that person or feel that person's energy. That's what I'm talking about. When you're fully present and aware, you can become whatever you are focusing on. That is a power of our being. That is a power of consciousness. That is a power of unified consciousness. And I think it's beautiful. So enough of that. The whole point of this message is you are boundless, there are no limitations. And although it's okay, I go by Sage, I have my name DeAndre too. I'm still African American in this culture, but that is not how I define myself. Those are just labels that are in my back pocket whenever someone needs to, for their own purposes, define me. I say Sage, so that way when you see me, you can say, hey, Sage, so that you get my attention. Not even so much so that I feel like, okay, I'm Sage. Sage is powerful. Sage is this, Sage is that. That's all cool and dandy, but Sage is nothing compared to what I really am. And on that note, Wholeness family, please subscribe to my channel. Share that love. I love you. Hope you're having a beautiful day, morning, night, whatever, right? And if you're watching this in the dream space, dream on. And until next time, peace.